Last week, the AVP League kicked off its first ever season with a hot start in Hood. The New York Nitro came out fast, going undefeated in week one. Are they the team to beat in 2024?
Crab, nobody up, unleashes, and it's over. Chang, cross-court winner. New York Nitro victory.
Today, the Stars of the Sand head to Miami, where 4 new teams bring their magic to the 305. Week 2, Under the Lights, starts now. For week 2 of AVP League play, we've come to Hard Rock Stadium. We've added some humidity and alligators to the fine mix of volleyball competition. The second half of our Texas showdown on Florida sand as the Dallas Dream take on the Austin Aces. This time we'll move over to the men's side as the Dream came out on the sand to start our evening. Kylie DeBerg and Haley Harward, they looked good early, struggled a little bit late. They end up going down in 2 sets. Andy Benesh and Partain are going to try and get the Dream in the win column here in match number 2. On the other side, the Austin Aces featured 3 Olympians, 2 of them from Paris. Taryn Cloth and Kristen Nuss. They manufactured that comeback performance in each of the first 2 sets that the Aces have played. Now it's Billy Allen and Paul Lotman's chance to take the sand. Will they go 2-0 on the weekend? Our updated standings in New York Nitro undefeated this weekend. The Smash split it. Austin Aces in there in the win column already. We'll see what happens here in our next one. From the sand up into the booth, we have gold medalist Rich Lamborn replacing Dane Blanton for this one. He'll be down on the sand during it. I'm Kevin Barnett. Welcome into match number 2. And Rich, this one comes with a little bit of added intrigue coming out of Paris.
Yeah, absolutely. We got the Olympians trying to pick up for their ladies in that first one on the Dallas Dream side, but on the opposite side of the net is going to be their coach from Paris. So a little bit of intimate knowledge. How will that factor into this match? We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, Andy Benesh and Partain getting rid of their coaches partway through that Olympic run. That was Paul Lotman. How does that play into this match? What intrigue is there? Is somebody rubbing salt in the wound? We'll see. Let's go to Mark and get the players out there.
Let's do it. Here we go. The teams, ladies and gentlemen, for our next match. First up for the Dallas Dream. All right, here we go. Wearing the number 1. If you're wearing the number 1, raise your hand. Who's wearing number 1? Miles? Miles wearing number 1? Yes, thank you, buddy. Out of Pacific Palisades, California, standing 6'3" tall, the Olympian. Let me hear it for Miles Partain. Oh, very nice. It was fate. And his partner, the big fella, standing 6'8" tall out of Rancho Palos Verdes. It's Andy Benesh. Show off. And their opponents, the Austin Aces. First up, wearing the number 1 out of Fallbrook, California, standing 6'2" tall. Let me hear it for Billy Allen. We're getting better every time. Hey! That is a complicated handshake. And his partner, the Olympian out of Lakewood, California, standing 6'6". He is Paul Lotman.
You heard Mark, the Olympian Paul Lotman on the indoor side, who's enjoyed a renaissance on the beach. An Olympian in 2012 in London, and alternate for the 2016 games. Played all over the world on the indoor side. Partain gave up his career on the indoor side to pursue beach, leaving UCLA early to make sure he could get in the practice time with Andy Benesh. That paid off with an Olympic appearance this past summer in Paris. Benesh and Partain on the rise. The youngsters taking on Billy Allen and Paul Lotman. Some veteran experience. Allen will get us started. Jump float finds Partain. The lefty will put it down the line for the first point of this one.
Unorthodox start there. A little tomahawk service reception, but a nail either way. Great side out from Miles to start it off.
There's Miles Partain, originally out of Pacific Palisades, California. Starred indoors as a junior and then on to UCLA. Said he wouldn't have left UCLA unless they had some capable hands available. But he said the team was good with it. They were all set. They went on to win a national title that year as well as this following year, this past spring. They're now the two-time defending champs, and he went on to become an Olympian in what would have still been his collegiate time.
Yeah, when you're the player of the year, you leave and then they still win a national title, your team's relatively deep.
It is the deepest collegiate team I've seen in some time. Jump serve, Paul Lotman up at the net. Dealing with Andy Benesh, who has also markedly improved over the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, he came out a couple years ago, and you know, there's always a little bit of a question mark when a player's a middle blocker indoors because they don't have a ton of those service reception repetitions in the bank.
And to your point, Andy saying, if you're going to come out to the beach, just be willing to look really bad for 3 years, and it'll work out.
Well, when you're preternaturally talented like he is, that may be the case. They already have a cowbell to their name, and Stad, and yeah, that not an easy play. Sky high over his shoulder, easy looking tap down from Andy Benesh, but not easy in reality.
The best big man on the beach in the young side, 6'8", and I think that's an underestimation of Andy Benesh if you stand a little closer to him now at 29 years old. Track that one from his left shoulder all the way over to his right.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you as well. 6'8" seems on the low end.
And he puts that one through the cable for an ace. We saw so many aces in that first match. None of them hit the cable. That's the first cable ace we've had. It's 4-1, time for a side change. At 5, best of 3 sets, all to 15. It goes by fast. You have to win still. We went overtime in both of our first 2 sets on the women's side. You only get 1 timeout. Sometimes you have to decide when to use it. If they go down 5-1 right now, the Austin Aces might find themselves in that situation.
Yeah, things happen in a hurry.
Benesh again. Tough one, hitting out. Billy Allen is just long. Do you call a timeout?
Certainly have to think about it. And that was beautiful defense from Partain. He was right in the right position, comfortable enough back there to see that thing going long and just dodge it. That's not easy to do in kind of real time.
Dodge, dip, duck, dive, and dodge by Miles Partain. Benesh continues to serve. Hits another hard one, and it's an ace, 6-1. I think it has to come now, does it not?
It has to come now. Otherwise, I mean, you're almost conceding this first set.
All right, well, it appears it doesn't for the moment. Benesh, a little wrist away. They were just biding their time, weren't they, the Austin Aces? They, in fact, have called their first timeout at 6-1. What an open for the Dallas Dream.
The way we have these player benches situated, if anything, you can kind of force your opponents to have an extra long jog, maybe wear them down, call a timeout, force the youngsters to run a little bit in the sand.
Well, I'm interested to see tomorrow when it's midday, it's hot, it's humid, it's 85 degrees with the sun beating down. This is going to be a tough environment for a lot of players who are not from Florida, not used to this level of heat.
Yeah, the sun has gone away, so our crowd out there is not getting baked anymore. But it's still very warm, not the same, as you mentioned, as when the sun's beating down on you to go along with the humidity.
Dane Blanton has the victorious Austin Aces on the women's side with him now, courtside. Dane.
Absolutely, I'm here with Nuss and Cloth of the Austin Aces. A good start for you guys, but you said Austin Aces kind of start slow. We're seeing that with the men out there right now.
Yeah, I mean, we would have liked a better start to this first set, but Taryn and I didn't have a particularly great start either. We kind of waited till we got to 13, so you know, maybe that'll be the case for our teammates.
That's a sign of a good team when you can close really strong. You seem to have that different gear that you step up and close it out. Do you work on that at the end of matches?
You know, we really try to work to get ahead and earn points right away, but we don't always do that. But yes, I do think that it is something that we do have to work on more and more, and getting more experience does help us in that.
Nice. So let's take a look. I know you guys are really into this team concept, and the fans at home want to know how and what you see. So why don't you call it right here?
Well, oh, right here. I mean, obviously the option
two.
ball.
Come on.
Nice read by Billy there.
That was a great ball.
liked a little better. Put up. Oh, no.
That was two
Sorry.
great digs, but
Yeah.
he's right there. He's right
I
there.
think that just showed transition setting is a little difficult. Lotman kind of struggled with that ball to give up to Billy a better attacking opportunity. But now we just have to go back to serve receive. I think Andy was serving very well. Sorry, I'm just continuing to go.
No,
Andy
you
was
keep
just serving
going.
very well, so that was very difficult. Glad he kind of missed one, and hopefully he kind of comes back down to earth serving wise.
You guys are from the new school, right? You're the young guns out here. Billy Allen, he's been out here for quite some time. Is it right that you guys not too familiar with Billy Allen?
No, not really, but it's been fun. We got to know him a little bit when we were on a Zoom call. We actually were talking about the AVP League and how excited we are and how we really want to blow it up and we want people to be super involved. And then we got to meet up with him a little bit today, and we have some, little handshakes, and then rode over together. So yeah, it's been nice to get to know. That's an ace.
We like that.
Did we see
Service
that?
pressure.
Talk about serving, you guys. In your match, you guys were killing it. You guys turned up your serve. It seemed like both Dallas and you were going at one another early on. How important is that with these sets being to a quick 15 points?
Oh my gosh, it's
That is
huge.
absolutely huge, and I think with any team out here, look at that.
Let's go.
There we go.
Yeah, let's go.
For that
To be
serve,
honest,
is it?
in our match, I went back to serve, and Billy was like, "All right, I'm feeling an ace right here." Went up, short serve, got an ace. So I pointed to him, gave him a shout out.
I told you to go short.
No, he just said, "Serve me up an ace." So I had it. My teammate asked. I had to
That's
go
all
over.
we have to do to get an ace from you?
Yeah, pretty much.
So I saw you guys out there warming up your teammates, right? Did they do that for you, or are you starting a new train? They did, okay.
They did that for
I
us.
like it. You guys are totally into it. You're in the box when they're playing. And is there some coaching going on?
I think we're still at the beginning stages. We're trying to feel each other out, see what's happening, what do they want, what do we need, because obviously this is a new format, so it's kind of they may in match not really want any outside noise. So we're gonna communicate. That's very good team dynamic. We're just gonna keep communicating.
Yeah, we did talk at the beginning. Hey, do you guys want tips? Do you want help warming up? Those kinds of things. And we were all for just collaborating. Our success depends on their success. So
Yeah, and it's nice, and males, females can collaborate because you're never going to face them.
Yeah.
Right? Let's talk about the big year that you guys had, of course, coming back from Paris and then getting your name on that pier. How did that feel?
It was a dream come true after dream come true. We just need to keep this interview going because Paul just keeps cranking out aces.
let's go.
All right, you guys. They think the interview is what's getting this streak going.
keep
But
going.
let's go back up
Yeah,
to
sorry.
you, Kevin, in the
Oh,
booth, and
no.
we'll come back down in a bit.
Oh no, indeed. Back to the booth we come, but it's still Paul Lotman working Andy Benesh. That ball put away by Miles Partain.
No doubt to the disappointment of Kristen and Taryn.
Absolutely.
The interview ended in an immediate side out.
Definitely the TV crew's fault. If things start to go awry, it was an open of 6-1 that had the Austin Aces calling a timeout. You saw there the Dreams serving their way back into it. 7-5, they forced a timeout, so we have no timeouts remaining in this first set as that ball is put right down the middle. Great salvage by Billy Allen, the one-time setter at Northridge, and the ball is just long. Dallas Dreams still with the advantage.
Lotman had the perfect place that he was going for, just overcooked it a touch.
Billy Allen, a noted author, has several books up on Amazon. I've read Good Blood. It's an excellent one. I have a sequel sitting on my pile of books ready to read. One of the things that Billy is really into. And also, if you follow him on Instagram, you will find that Billy Allen is, in fact, the leading source of all Billy Allen news that you need.
Good Blood chronicling how the members of the Illuminati stay young?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. It's a nonfiction book.
It's not. Yeah, it's more of a playbook.
All right, what is the playbook here in this set for either side that'll produce a victory? How about chipping the block by Andy Benesh? That's one way to go. Benesh, the one-time middle blocker at USC, had himself an outstanding collegiate career, had 415 for the entire career. That's a good number before transitioning to the beach, and has been working hard. This was an exciting partnership when they got together. A lot of people thought it might work out, and it did get them to the Paris Olympic Games. Short roll.
You mentioned how Andy talked about being willing to look, you know, less than coordinated for a little bit, especially as he's kind of learned the jump setting offense that they like to employ, but they just keep getting better and better and more consistent with it.
You know, Andy Benesh needs just 145 new followers to get to 10,000 on Instagram. Maybe we can get him a blue check mark here, people. If you're watching right now and you control some bots, stick them on Billy Allen and, or pardon me, Andy Benesh's page, and maybe we can get Andy Benesh a check mark and a nice even number.
I have a blue check mark. That seems criminal that he doesn't have a blue check mark.
Yeah, I also have a check mark. Not sure where it came from.
That is very, very wrong.
It did impress my kids, which I thought was weird. All right, overhead set here. Nice crank, but it's right into the block and the net. Austin Aces do not win that point, and they find themselves trailing now 12-8.
Yeah, again, that set up with an incredible serve up the middle from Andy Benesh, causing all sorts of trouble for the Aces.
Completely off balance in that play. Benesh will continue at the line as the lights really start to take hold here on our Saturday evening of play from Hard Rock Stadium. Kevin Partain alongside Olympic gold medalists Rich Lamborn and Dane Blanton, who's down on the sand. Glad you're with us here on Bally Live. First men's match of what will be 4 men's matches across the 2 days. Our first women's match was Aces and Dream, with the Aces winning in overtime in both the first and second sets and sweeping the first match. Benesh cracks that one right on the back line. Staying with the lead now of 4.
Yeah, we haven't mentioned it much, but those 2-set victories can be important down the road in that it kind of factors into a potential tiebreaker if your overall win-loss record is the same.
Short serve here. He was there, was Partain. Oh, and he couldn't quite finish after his partner's run.
I love that swing from Miles, though. They don't end up getting it, but pay off the tremendous effort from your partner by taking a healthy cut.
Andy on his horse, the big right mitt.
I love that little Nick Lucena style wide open hand, just scooping that thing up there, getting a little topspin on it for your guy.
An appropriate Florida tribute. I'm sure we'll see Nick Lucena this weekend. He could take the train over just like Phil Dahlhauser did.
Absolutely. A little longer from Tallahassee, I think.
13-10. That ball is out. So 14-10, set ball number 1 for the Dallas Dream. Kind of cruising here. They gave up some mid-set points to some service, but they had opened big at 6-1.
Benefit of a 6-1 opening lead is that you have some breathing room.
Indeed. This one will be to Allen. Right side. Partain with the dig. Another long run for Benesh. This time the aggression pays off, and the first set is history.
How about those 2 rundowns and sets from Andy Benesh? Talked a lot about him in set number 1, and I mean, those are the kind of plays that he's just made de rigueur on his side of the net. Pardon my French.
If you had de rigueur on your card, please see the woman at the cage and collect your money. Second one of those plays in this first set. 1-1, but this winner terminates set number 1, 15-10. You know, one change I want to see, Rich Lamborn, let's get rid of the 1s and 2s. It's one of the dumbest things the FIVB does, as a matter of fact. You should be able to wear whatever number you want to wear. If you want to be 44, 23, you want to be 7, whatever it is, that's what you want to be able to be. It's your number, it's your brand, put it inside of the AVP league.
I like that.
I want to watch you do it.
Let's check in with the women. They are relaxing. I'd like to see them taking more of an active role.
Cracking the whip. Their boys are down a set.
Get in there. Start yelling at them or something. Tell Billy Allen what's up. All right, set 2 is in the offing from Miami momentarily.
Yeah, baby, that is right. It is time. Ladies and gentlemen, I could not be happier to be right here, right now.
We're in Austin, Dallas, Texas. For San Diego.
Week 2 has 2 more matches after this one this evening. Theo Bruner, Trevor Krauser, and Avery Drost will be our next match. That's the Miami Mayhem and the Palm Beach Passion. We have the Battle of Texas, followed by the battle for Florida. Who wants to take this state? Alex Kleiman and April Ross sure do. They'll face off with Melissa Humana-Paredes and Brandy Wilkerson. That is a Olympic medal fest in our finale.
Indeed it is, yeah. I mean, April's got one of every color.
Right. Very few.
Yeah, indeed. And Alex, of course, has a gold as well. And then the newly minted silver medalist squaring off. You would have to think the advantage, I don't know if it's ironic or not, but would go to the Canadians in that one.
I think so. I think Alex and April both still returning from motherhood and marriages. Congratulations to them on the nuptials over the last few weeks. Fun to watch all the pictures. Alex getting married in Italy, April getting married locally in Southern California. As our second set gets underway with Miles Partain at the line. And they have just returned to the sand. They're not quite what we're used to seeing from the A-team. Meantime, Mel and Brandy are deadly. There, look at that fast set, but all over it is Andy Benesh. It's good to be 6'9".
It's good to be 6'9", that middle blocking background. You're not going to fool me with a little tempo to the gap.
Not sure if Benesh was going to turn and hit that one, but he is definitely, as Rich mentioned, ready to jump to his right. 1-0. That one cracked by Billy Allen, cross court. Proprietor of the Coach Your Brains Out podcast, as well as a book, with John Mayer, longtime AVP pro.
And we saw Johnny last week in our LA stop, and kind of similarly to the UCLA Tennis Center, I feel like this sand might be a little bit jumpy, Kevin.
Yeah, and what would the effect be of jumpy sand? We saw that last week. Here comes Miles Partain. Cross court, little bit long.
Well, it didn't help on that particular play from Miles Partain, but I think we see a lot more physicality out of the players in jumpy sand. They take some cuts, they create some trajectories that are a little uncommon in some of the deeper sanded stops.
I know so much was made of the gorgeous court setup there in Paris. That ball is ripped right into Billy Allen's lap. And he comes back with a point for the Aces. They are responding nicely here to start this second set. But so much was made of Paris and how beautiful it was. Look around right now. The sun is setting, coming through the clouds. We have an orange glow reflecting off the Hard Rock Stadium. This is also picturesque and wonderful. Be a good, exciting night of volleyball.
The Hard Rock Stadium, maybe only a second place in backdrop to the Eiffel Tower.
Nothing in between. Nothing in between. Just as we were discussing last night between Josh Glazebrook, our buddy at the AVP, and me, nothing in between.
Nothing in between. If Josh can't do it for you, Kevin is there to fill in.
I'll take you on a ride in the broadcast, no problem. We're here to do that. Myself, Rich Lamborn, and Dane Blanton will be with you the rest of tonight as well as tomorrow afternoon for AVP week number 2. Ooh, hot pocket issued. 5-2, 4-2, pardon me.
Yeah, a little heavy heat from the big fella into the corner, and a good start for the Aces here in response here, set number 2.
Andy Benesh, Miles Partain already winners together. How do you think that storyline's played out so far here? I haven't seen any talk between Paul Lotman and his former charges.
I don't imagine that was an overly talkative relationship in general. Both, you know, all three of those guys.
To begin with?
Yeah, relatively kind of soft-spoken, I think. Very cerebral, the lot of them.
Hey-ho.
Hey-ho. Hacky puns here all weekend long from me.
Tough serve down the middle again from Benesh. He's been a factor all night. Here it's just wide. Boy, nice recovery by Billy Allen once again, but they just can't quite execute to finish it off. We're tied at 4. Here come the Dream.
And those are the kind of plays that end up being killers, right? Because that's 0 for 2 now, unfortunately for the Aces. Great rundown sets from Billy. Really the right shot and a good aggressive attempts from Paul Lotman, just barely missing that one deep middle in set number 1, and then this one just wide. Oh my
that
goodness.
One's going into the pole. Paul Lotman making some contact. Hope he's okay. Appears to be a glancing blow. Trying to salvage that pass. Boy, and catching that corner on his left shoulder.
Yeah, good job by our padding, keeping him safe. But one way to exacerbate the severity of a collision is to run right into a microphone.
Tis but a flesh wound. Lotman rips that one. Dug by Partain. He'll respond in transition with another kill. The Dream are turned into a nightmare for the Aces.
Yeah, and that's another look at something that Andy has continued to get better and better at. Great dig right there from Miles Partain, but watch, no hesitation running in with the hands, setting up a beauty in transition for Miles to convert.
Voted most improved player in 2022 before winning best blocker and most improved player again in 2023. Andy Benesh been on the rise.
Yeah, that seems to me like...
And he gets another ace through the cable.
Yeah, just everything rolling the Dallas Dream way right now. If you win back-to-back most improved, that's kind of like the high jumper who just keeps beating his world record by a centimeter at a time. You just do enough to get the most improved player, that you just do enough the next year.
You know why those guys do that on the track and field side?
Because you get rewarded.
You get a
financially,
bonus.
Yeah.
Yep, every time you PB or increase the world record. That ball is long. Boy, the Dream are really pouring it on here. 8-4. Looks like timeout time for the Austin Aces.
Yeah, and it's been the pressure from the service line, particularly from Andy Benesh, that has been so devastating for the Dallas Dream.
Dane Blanton has found one of our upcoming contestants here, and already a champion this year on the AVP, Theo Bruner.
Absolutely, one of the best blockers in all of the world, Theo Bruner. Congratulations this year, winning Manhattan Beach, getting on the pier. How did that feel for you?
It was amazing. That was my 4th final in Manhattan, and I did not want to retire 0 for 4. So I guess that actually kind of took the pressure off. We got the win, and it was huge. My family was there, friends were there. It was one of the best days of my life, for sure.
You got an amazing team on the Miami Mayhem. You're with April Ross and Alex Kleinman and the bad boy of the AVP. Let's call it what it is, Trevor Crabb. What about that incident right there that happened in Chicago? Can you explain what happened to the fans?
Let's see. Trevor had been saying some stuff on social media. Chase wasn't real happy about it. He gave him a little taunt on the side switch. And then Chase did what we've all been wanting to do for the last 10 years and gave him a big old shove. So, yeah, that's about it.
Even you? You wanted to do that?
I've almost shoved him / punched him at practice a couple times. Never in a game, though, because that feeds him. So, make him stronger.
I didn't know that. Did it humble him a little or just fire him up?
It fired him up. I mean, we kind of had that match. We blew it at the end of the second set, so I don't think it affected us negatively. And like I said, Trevor thrives in those environments. He loves the chippiness. You can shove him all day. He's going to bounce back and play well. So,
I love it. Let's talk about tonight's match. You go up against one of the best blockers in the history of the sport, in Phil Dahlhauser, as you take on the Palm Beach Passion, of course. How do you approach that one? What have you learned watching Phil over the years, and how much are you anticipating?
I mean, I probably have 1,000 hours of just watching Phil under my belt over my career. I've learned so much just watching him, talking to him. He's a really humble, nice guy to talk to about volleyball. This format, I'm a little bit scared. It's 15-point sets. It's going to be faster, so we might see a little old school Phil out there. But anytime you play Phil, you got to be nervous, and you got to come to play. So we're not taking him lightly whatsoever.
All right, best of luck. All right, Kevin.
Fantastic stuff there. Love. Yeah, I think Theo and Trevor were not adversely affected in that match by the stuff that went on. I agree with Theo on that. You're going to win or lose the match, but I don't think it was defined by that moment.
No, I don't either. I think the refs handled it amazingly well in a very difficult situation to adjudicate real time. I'm always a big fan of Theo's candor in interviews, admitting that he himself, even in practice, has wanted to shove his partner. So nothing out of the ordinary there, but the Dallas Dream continue to roll here, Kevin.
Yeah, this one is thoroughly a nightmare for the Aces at the moment. One more note on Theo Bruner, who's coming up later this evening. You definitely want to follow him at Lord Brunner. He is a fantastic follow on Instagram. His best comments and thoughts are on display there at all times. One of those guys who's good in person, better in text.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can see how quick-witted he is in an interview real-time format. So when a guy like that has time to kind of construct responses, it's good stuff.
We're starting to see where the lack of timeouts could start to play here. 12-5, the Dream rolling the Aces, and they cannot stop the train. Shot over the top. That one will finally end the drought, but they still find themselves doubled up to Billy Allen and Paul Lotman.
There's a few things you can always count on from Billy Allen. Smooth line shots, some clandestine humor.
How about a wry smile?
A wry smile. Yeah, just an all-around great attitude.
He and Janelle, of course, former AVP pro, married, son Ketch. They're now living near Stanford, as that has been an opportunity for Billy to get in the coaching game, first at Cal, now at Stanford. And remember this, kids, that make your relationships early in life, because those bonds built years earlier could create an opportunity for you. Andrew Fuller, head coach there at Stanford, Billy going way back, and now bringing Billy in to what has to be a great situation at that tremendous university in Northern California. Getting close to perhaps a match ball here, as the Dallas Dream have dominated. Benesh has been destructive from the line, and he can almost continues it there. Partain with the pickup and the put away. Match ball number 1.
Again, that trajectory is just phenomenal. It makes me believe that this sand, like it was last week, a little bit jumpy for the players. I was just getting on top of that thing and clubbing it.
Match ball number 1. Crowd into it. Perhaps the most dominant set we've seen in AVP league play. Just long. Match point number 2 on the way.
That was very close. I like Andy just going with what's been working for him. There's only a couple errors that I can remember and a lot of aces.
Lotman did some damage in set 1. Benesh on 2, dug by Allen. Trying to get closer, and they do with that one, 14-8.
Nicely done. Good positioning on the option ball there from Billy. Great control on the dig.
Billy Allen still working. Miles Partain with a little bit of a pause there. Saw part of the sand he didn't like. Match ball 3. Miles misses. So you still have a huge way to go here. I wouldn't call a timeout if it were me.
I'm with you, yeah. I don't think there's any need for a timeout. If you're Miles and Andy, you still have 5 match points. You've passed the ball well on both opportunities. It's just a couple of misses.
Match ball 4. Is this the one? Miles once again. This time a little bit further to the antenna, and he chips it and puts it away. 15-9. The final score not indicative of just how dominant the Dream were in this one. 15-10, 15-9, our final score. Takes us to our Wilson play of the day, and they have to be from the Dallas Dream, who were looking for a victory. With the men's win, they go to 1-1. Big block from Andy Benesh, who did a ton of damage both at the net and from the service line. The big man doing what big men do.
Yeah, and I mean, he sprinkled in some unbelievable rundowns on digs from his partner. I mean, he did it all. That was just a top to bottom phenomenal performance for him.
A dreamlike performance for those men. Let's check in with Mark Sherman, who had our winners in the corner of the court.
Miles and Andy, the winners in straight sets, and lots of highlight plays from these two as well. Andy, you're serving. Oh my God, you ripped off like 7 in a row. I think you guys got like 11 out of 12 points. Under the lights, off this sand, what was it with that serve?
Yeah, I don't know. It got pretty hot early. That was our strategy. I was going to come out and try to take a couple rips early and see how it felt. So, yeah, went our way today. But yeah, that was our focus coming in.
Yeah, how do you develop a strategy? Now we're playing to 15, so it's got to, you're coming out hot right at the start, right?
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, you want it to be like that, even in the games of 21, but 15, even more important. The games can get away from you. So, yeah, a little more sense of urgency. You're kind of forced into it. But like I said, hopefully you're like that all the time. But it really does force you. So it's a really fun, fast-paced format, and we really like it.
And a new element, you've got a women's team, your pair, Haley and Kylie, watching you. What's that like to have another pair rooting you on from the sidelines?
Yeah, it's great. We heard them during the match. Thank you, team. And they played really well in their match, too. I think it was inspiring, and they were playing super hard, had some really good rallies. And, yeah, so it fired us up to come out here and compete hard.
Well, congratulations. Great job. Dallas, 1-1. Austin, 1-1. Give it up for Andy and Miles, everybody.
So the men's side comes back with the victory after the Dallas Dream dropped the women's side. Both teams will check in at 1-1 for the first night of play. The Miami Mayhem and the Palm Beach Passion will take the sand next. We have one men's and one women's match upcoming. The battle for Florida. Texas was a split decision. Will Florida be a convincing victory? We will see. We'll return to the soft sands of Hard Rock Stadium for match number 3 coming up next. For now, congratulations to the Dream. They win 2-0.